Hey everybody, it's Doug Green and I'm the publisher of Technology Reseller News, and I'm very pleased to have with me Bill Placke of BroadSource. Bill, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Doug.
So we're live here from the Cloud Connections Conference, beautiful St. Petersburg, Florida. The Vinoy is like the most amazing place.
Yeah, you know, it reminds you of the breakers, and it's just, it's just beautiful Art Deco, beautiful environment, wonderful people, wonderful conference. The weather couldn't be better, so all things are good here.
So rave review for the Cloud Connections event, Cloud Communications Alliance. So, Bill, let's drill down into what you guys are doing. And you were talking about basically, enabling the resellers to do a better job with AI, to really actually make money with AI. Yeah. So tell me what that's all about.
Yeah, that's good. A lot of the attention here and elsewhere is all around AI, whether you're in the venture community or just generally, what is the power of AI? And the relationships that so many of the people that are attending this event are directly with their customers. And their customers are also asking them, well, how can I use AI to make my business better? And we know AI is the most revolutionary change there has been in 25 years. It just makes you more productive. You can use data analytics in your business to make your business better. So enterprise are looking to folks and resellers to say, okay, well, what specific AI applications do you have for my business? And that seems to be a common theme around the event today. And there's a lot of great applications. The innovation is off the charts. So there's a lot out there. And so where do you focus? What do you focus your customers on? From a reseller's perspective, yeah, you can make some margin on this, but you can certainly separate yourself and distinguish yourself by becoming an expert in some of these applications to help your end customer essentially make more money and increase their customer satisfaction and deploy in the networks.
How does BroadSource help the resellers do just that?
Yeah, great question. Thank you. And funny, a little bit about my background. Just a couple months ago, I joined BroadSource, and I wasn't particularly looking for anything. But the BroadSource team, who I've known for 20 years, wonderful people, wonderful company that's been serving the sector for quite a while. They won Cisco Top 3 Global Innovation Award for their product, SecureCall. And when I was talking with Hayden and Jason about, how does SecureCall work? What do you do? It looks very innovative. It hit me as well that what they were onto was that they could remove a roadblock that legal and compliance are putting up in the adoption of AI and unleashing LLMs. So I'll go through what they have at SecureCall deployed and soft launched in Q4, which has received incredible traction, is a PCI compliance solution. And in that PCI compliance solution, what happens is the end user calls into a large call center or a local shop, and you want to take that credit card over the phone. What SecureCall does is it interdicts on that phone so that the customer inputs their own credit card number, expiration date, CVC. The merchant is able to stay on the line, but the merchant doesn't hear the tones. They only see little asterisks coming up. And that payment goes through the payment processor of the merchant. The merchant gets the confirmation that it's done. And it's very great because there's new PCI and DSS 4.0 came out starting in April. There's no more self-certification. You have to provide evidence. And what SecureCall product does is it takes on the onus of that PCI compliance itself. So you can save money and the enterprise can save money because they don't have to fill out the 300-page questionnaire. They can say, hey, here's my front 2 pages, and I'm relying on BroadSource's SecureCall PCI certification. So an immediate value add. And then you take that product and you extrapolate from that. Okay, if you can do credit card numbers, you can do bank account numbers, you can do social security numbers, you can do passport numbers, anything that has sensitive PII. And why is that important? 2 things. From the user aspect, you create a trust relationship with that customer that says, hey, I'm not keeping, storing your sensitive personal identifiable information. So if a hacker breaches, you're not going to get that letter in the mail that says, hey, by the way, we had a breach and your social security number's out there, or your, this is out there. Because I don't have it, there's nothing to take. So that's great from an enterprise desire to meet a NIST requirement for data minimization. But more importantly, what legal and compliance folks are struggling with, and the struggle is real, whether you take CCPA or GDPR, the rights of the person, the data subject, so the user, essentially says under both those regimes that the person, if you're going to use a person-sensitive PII or any of their PII, that person has to give knowing consent to the use of that PII. Well, here's where you have the collision of forces, because AI, that application hasn't been invented by the time you took that PII. How can they have given consent to something that hadn't been given yet? So it's not just a fantasy problem. There was EU ruling that came out in late December. It was almost like a hidden over the holidays that said, yes, you businesses, it's a little bit of a crazy ruling. If you're using AI or LLMs in your business, you can be personally liable in the event that that data was collected in violation of GDPR.
Wow.
And it's it's kind of crazy. So this is where you're having a conflict. So the approach that we've taken with SecureCall is we expand SecureCall into Secure PII. And we say, okay, what if at the time of collecting the information, the sensitive personal identifiable information, we remove it at the time of collection, so that when you're looking at this clash and you say, hey, by the way, that AI can operate on that data, or the LLM can train on that data, because we have the confidence it was removed at the time of collection. So we're not going to run into problems.
Right.
So that was the innovation. That's what got me very excited, because it combines my traditional world of cybersecurity through data minimization with unleashing the power of AI to enhance business and enterprise. So that's why I got really excited. I love the analogy, the Levi Strauss analogy. So, in the 1840s, you had a bunch of guys that were going out to dig for gold, and they needed pickaxes and blue jeans.
Right.
Levi Strauss sold them the pickaxes and blue jeans, and some of them had gold and some of them didn't, but everyone had to get a pickaxe and blue jeans. So we want to be that pickaxe and blue jeans that says, hey, now gold diggers, you can go after that data, but you want to be here first. Now, Levi Strauss is still around. There's not a lot of gold diggers, so in that sense. So that's why I got quite excited about the unleashing the power of AI.
So as we wrap up our podcast today, do you have any advice for resellers that are looking at this?
Yeah, so as I observe and look at the possibilities of AI, I would encourage resellers to get deeper into cybersecurity too. Meet your customers where they are. They're looking for solutions. The number one concern of IT professionals is cybersecurity. We know what happens when breaches. It's not just how much you're hit, but also your reputational damage. And cybersecurity, it's a huge field, but find the area where you can best serve your customers. For example, username and passwords, the number one breach point. Find a different solution, one that's more convenient than MFA. Look also at data analytics and LLMs. The BroadSource team came out with a product called EmuCap, CAPP, that looks at behavioral metrics around how is someone interacting with the BroadWorks platform, and stopping toll fraud because there's anomalous activity, sending an alert and saying, hey, you need to change this. I would say look deeper at the tools that are out there and give your customers those so they can stop the breaches. We know that's a big issue. So that's all I would say is don't be daunted by it, get in it, and become that trusted partner to your enterprises.
Bill, I really want to thank you for joining me today. This is very interesting. I love the idea of good, strong, practicable advice for the resellers as they dive into AI. I'm looking forward to our next podcast. Bill Placke, President of America's BroadSource. Where can we learn more about BroadSource?
Yeah, so broadsource.com, it'll bring it up. And you can also go to secure-pii.com.
Bill, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.